How are we doing, guys? Thanks again for tuning in to a live session of the Watercraft Journal. This one was a little a little short notice. I think we put out the announcement this morning or this afternoon. So I know a lot of people are on Independence Day vacation. Don't know if they want to sit around and talk jet skis. We're going to be doing a short one today because I'm taking the kids to go watch fireworks. So we're just going to kind of hang out and do a little bit of a live session, a little bit of answering questions. Let me fix this camera as it's totally crooked. That's really funny. Okay. Turn off Messenger. Thank you. All right. So a little bit of news while people come in real quick. We are publishing, not only are we publishing an article, we are publishing a video to go with it tomorrow on July 4th. We work year round, I guess, primarily because we're an international publication, even though we're obviously here in the States. So JD's Waterworld did the final installment of modifying a 2022 Kawasaki Ultra 310 LXS with the entire unlimited PWC lineup of parts. So the final step of that was installing the sponsons, finding a good setting for them, going out and testing them, beating them up, doing a good job on that. That video and article goes live at midnight tonight for July 4th. We just got back our video for the Tennessee waterfall ride that we did with Ski Rider Nation and the Great Lakes ski riders. That video, it has we got all the corrections done. We got everything done on that we needed. That's going to be, I'm going to hold on to that one, and we're going to publish that one next Monday. And the reason why I'm going to publish it next Monday is that I'm going to be traveling all next week, and we're not going to be doing a podcast. So on July 10th, we're going to have this video and report from that ride go up on Monday. So that way we're not leaving you without a video to watch. So that video, ride report and everything with Joe Cornett and Will Winters and Basil and Manny, that video goes up on next Monday. So that's, and it's all ready to go. It's locked and loaded. I think I just need to like lay out the article itself, and then we're ready to go. All right. Oh, hey, Billy's here, everyone. Everyone, welcome Billy. Woo! Have a drink. Oh, speak of the devil, here's Will. All right, great. So, couple cool videos coming out this week, along with obviously a week's worth of quick topic videos and stuff like that. And then, yeah, I travel next week, so we're not doing a podcast. And then July 17th, our guest is going to be good business friend of mine, industry friend of mine. Pretty excited to welcome Josh Shorter from Slippery Wetsuits. Josh has been with Slippery for a good while. I want to say over 10 years. And we worked on a bunch of different projects together. In fact, there was a time that I was really hoping to try to get a limited edition personal Watercraft branded life vest from Slippery, and that we could sell through the magazine. I thought that'd be really cool with our logo on it. But I was asking for like trick colors and things like that, and they're like, we can't offer you totally unique material. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But anyways, so that Josh is going to be on he's going to be our guest for the 17th, unless of course life happens and things change. We'll let you guys know. But all of that to be said is we have some cool stuff coming up. And then we have really nothing else on the agenda. This is all my planning. Can you request guests? You can make suggestions. I don't honor anyone's request because I don't care what you think. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, if there's industry people that I find compelling and interesting that I'd love to talk to, absolutely. And I go through mainly the people that I've invited onto the show are people that I have a relationship with, people that I've known for years, and that are worth interviewing, that I feel have a positive impact on the industry. So yeah, that's really the whole purpose of it, is bringing these people in. And okay, how do I turn freaking messenger notifications off? I want to say quit, but geez Louise, shut up. Doing a show, folks. All right. So, well, okay. So I said there's no topic for today because I just didn't put any thought into planning anything out. I had a very eventful weekend, and I thought I would share a little bit of that. Let's see if I can't. I can't pull that up and share that because those are JPEGs and they need to be PDFs, and I haven't changed them yet. But for you history nuts, it's a car thing, but I wanted to let you know something that I was involved in this weekend was in 1964, NASCAR. This camera's pointed down. I need to change this. There we go. Okay. In 1964, due to complaints by Ford, Dodge was not allowed to run its hemispherical cylinder heads on its engines in NASCAR racing. This effectively it absolutely hamstrung the guys from Plymouth and Dodge and Chrysler from being competitive with the Fords, especially because Ford had come out with a single overhead cam motor that was based upon the FE 427, and the camera motor was making obscene amounts of power. The 427 side oiler Ford was already making obscene amounts of power, and Chrysler figured out that we can beat them all using the hemispherical head, but that engine's got to run over 6,000 RPM to gain any sort of advantage. Money was exchanged. Bill French Jr., who was running NASCAR at the time, basically had his back pocket lined with Ford money and quickly outlawed the Hemi engine. Well, Richard Petty Jr., and his brother Maurice and his dad Dick said, okay, fine, screw you guys, we're not racing NASCAR. And they were some of the biggest names in NASCAR at the time. Well, Plymouth said, hey, listen, man, this drag racing, this NHRA stuff is getting pretty hot. So Richard got into a 1964 altered wheel-based Barracuda and started drag racing. Again, I'm telling a story. I'm waiting for his questions to come in so that we can have a jet ski conversation, but I'm telling you what I did this weekend. Well, Richard goes drag racing. He's doing okay. But at Southern Nationals, I believe it was, front suspension brakes. Richard veers off to the right, goes right into a chain link fence, and that fence was at the base of a berm, like a grassy small hill. The car tears through the fence and shreds itself going through the crowd. 7 people are severely injured. 1 person dies, which was an 8-year-old little boy. It's very tragic. And it was enough that Richard wanted to quit racing for a while. You kill a little boy, it's heartbreaking. The car vanished, and people weren't sure what happened to the car. So, over the years, people have been scratching their head going, where the hell did the car go? The Petties, back in, I think it was in an interview in the late 70s, early 80s, they let everyone know that Richard was so disgusted by what happened that they literally took a backhoe, dug a hole in their North Carolina property, and buried the 64 Barracuda. But then Petty Enterprises began to expand, and the car was dug up. And the car, this is what we discovered recently, was that the people thought the car was buried out in the woods. People thought it was buried underground. People thought they just parked it underneath a tree. They didn't know. Well, it turns out that the car was in fact buried underground. They literally dug a hole, put the car in there, buried it, and let the grass grow. But during the 80s, or I think it was the early 90s, excuse me, Petty Enterprises needed needed to expand their shops and expand their property. And part of that was to go back over this patch of dirt, where this Barracuda was. And they dug up the car. They didn't want the car. But an old friend of theirs, all right, guy named Billy West Peden, said, hey, Richard, what do you want with that old pile of crap? And he goes, take it. I don't want it. Well, unbeknownst to the whole world, Billy West Peden took this wadded up, infamous car and put it in his salvage yard. I had no idea. I had no idea. But I go out to the salvage yard on Saturday. I spend the whole day there. And we're walking around and sitting in foot-high grass behind this barn is this wadded up 64 Petty Blue Barracuda. We have no idea. We're like, man, this thing's awful. Oh man, what a disaster. I hope whoever was in this crash made it out okay. And I produce a video. Video goes up on Sunday. All of a sudden, all the history nuts go, guys, I think this is the number 43 JR drag race or dragster that Richard crashed. We get confirmation over the weekend. I confirm with the owner. We found one of the most historical cars ever driven by Richard Petty. And that's what I did this weekend. Was I stumbled across this totally forgotten piece of U.S. history. So that's what I was up to. All right, well, let's talk jet skis. Let's get into the conversation. I don't know if any of you guys gave a damn, but we were excited about that. So that's what we got going on. Oh, hey, I'm wearing the old jersey from 2 years ago. We still have some of the red jerseys left. We want to clear out stock of these. All right. These are the last remaining of the red jerseys. They're priced at $50 and $55 if you need to go with like double X. So if you want one of these red UV blocking, quick dry, water wicking, very nice riding jerseys that just have the logo on the front and a small logo on the back. All right. These are on sale. We want to get rid of them. I was not wearing it because I'm red enough, and me wearing this thing makes me look like a fire hydrant. But I don't think many of you have the same coloring as I do. So get one. Go to watercraftjournal.com. In fact, here, we'll we'll do this. Go to shop, click on it. It'll take you right down. You can order your jersey right here, $50. And while you're at it, go ahead and get a fuel tank kit. All right. All right. Let's start looking at some questions. Guys, if you have a question, do what Benjamin did. He's doing it the right way. Start with the word question in big, bold letters so that I can see it. Unless, of course, it's a super chat. Super chat, you go right to the front of the line. But let's bring up Benjamin's question. Benjamin writes, I'm hearing a new whining sound for my jet ski when I accelerate. Are my jet pump bearings going out? Benjamin, you need to provide me any more information than that. I don't know what kind of jet ski you own. I don't know if it's brand new. I don't know if it's 30 years old. I don't know where you're riding. I don't know anything. You haven't given me any information except for a whiny sound. And I don't know what you're riding. All right, moving on. You guys got to help me out. Help me help you. All right. Here's one. When is the new Spark coming? If the new Spark is going to come out for 2024, it will be announced late August. It will be announced in late August. That's when the dealer meeting is scheduled. It's going to be Sunday. I believe it's going to be the 20th of August. I believe. If not, it's going to be the 27th. I have to double check. But that's when the new Sparks will be announced. Media will be introduced physically to the new units probably a week or so later, and then it'll take a couple weeks for me to have a review out. That is, of course, if the new Spark is coming for 24. Hope that helps. All right. Happy 4th, happy 4th, happy 4th. Chase writes, GPS navigation recommendations for someone new to long-distance offshore rides. A Garmin GPS, handheld Garmin GPS is fine. I do not think you need the chart plotter. I do not think you need the big, giant Fish Pro 8-inch screen. There's a lot of guys who think they have to have the flat screen TV on their ski. We did just fine with a handheld GPS on a RAM mount, RAM, RAM mount. A RAM mount with a handheld Garmin GPS will do you solid. You'll be great. All right. Warheads, what's today's topic of the discussion? Whatever super chat question you got, buddy. Okay. Can we request guests? You can, again, like I said, you can offer suggestions. All right. Do a screen share. Yeah. All right. Warheads, what are your thoughts on electric jet skis? They're happening. At least the GTI is. Kawasaki does not have a powertrain that would work. They do have electric bikes, but they're not marinized. They're not good for watercraft. The only reason electric jet skis are even a consideration is because of the reporting that I have beaten into your skulls in regards to ESG scores. All right, it's environmental, social, governance scoring. All right, electric jet skis, electric bikes, electric side-by-sides, electric anything is purely political. It's purely political. All right. We just saw hail damage absolutely wipe out a nine-figure, multi-million-dollar solar farm. And I believe in Oklahoma or northern Texas. That the picture is getting out all this weekend because of the storms. All right. Hail damage wipes out solar panels like that. And there isn't an infrastructure. There's no marina infrastructure set up to rapidly recharge watercraft and boats. So there's no infrastructure. So anyone who puts out an electric ski first or is hot to do it, they're doing it for political clout. All right. They're doing it for environmental scoring so that they do not get penalized by an activist government and activist agencies. And right now, battery technology, powertrain's easy. All right. All you have to do is make an impeller spin. And any electric engine can do that. It's battery life. It's battery life and recharging. And the infrastructure isn't there. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. All right. Jason's got a question. What's the best way to learn about trailer maintenance? Hub grease, axles, how to change tires, car, etc. There's an insane amount of information online. Trailer hubs, trailer wear and tear on hub, hub wear, bearing wear, different grease packing tools. All this stuff is found online. And YouTube is the second most used search engine, second only to Google, and Google owns YouTube. So go onto YouTube if you're a visual learner. We're here watching this on YouTube, and look up trailer maintenance. Look up how often do I service my bearings? How often do I service my trailer bearings? Look these things up. It depends on load mainly. That's the reality. And if you are regularly launching into saltwater, you're going to want to double whatever they recommend. Because salt is not kind to trailers. All right. I think Chase already asked this question. What GPS do you use for long rides? Garmin handheld GPS. If I say GPS scape, I know I'm 10 years old. I did your hack on the Easy Flow cap on the Sea-Doo gas can. First time using it. On the water, the cap fell off and into the lake and into the tank of my Fish Pro. Well, sounds like you didn't install it right. User error. Sorry, David. I use it all the time. Question. What are your thoughts on electric jet skis? I already answered. Question. Purchased a new 2023 GTX 170. Total 1.5 hours and been in the shop 3 times now and still running codes. That sucks. I understand there's been some electrical issues. My understanding is that there's also been a weird rash of plugs depinning. That means that, when you take a plug off and you see like 6 or 8 little plastic little pins, sometimes the pin will slide out. There might be other issues. I simply don't know. I do not know service codes off the top of my head. So, and I'm not going to bother looking them up. All right. Benjamin continues. 2008 Yamaha EX, 370 hours, freshwater, no loss of power. It gets up to top speed just fine, does not cavitate. Just noticed a whining sound a couple of days ago, has not gone away. Check your pump, check your check your impeller shaft. Make sure that there's nothing abraded in there. Make sure that you haven't blunted any of the blades of your impeller. The mid shaft bearing, all right, or the bearing for the that goes through the hull, or wow, okay, as the shaft goes through the hull, that bearing very well. May be worn if it hasn't been serviced or greased. It is a sealed bearing. They're typically pretty good, but 370 hours is no small feat. You've gotten a lot of love out of that EX. So it might be worth a pretty extensive servicing. All right. Super chat. Hi, Kevin. Got my hoodie and t-shirt. Great quality. Question. Do you have a preferred technique to going out through a rough bar? As in speed, riding position, angle of riding to the waves. Riding out through a rough bar. Like a sandbar? I don't know what going out through a rough bar means. I presume what you're talking about is just approaching rough water. All right. 9 times out of 10, I'm on my feet, unless I have a passenger, and my passenger does not want to have my butt in their face. That's being considerate. Excuse me. So if you see rough water ahead, all right, let's say you see barge traffic or heavy boat traffic, and you are riding solo. Best things to do, in my opinion, are get on your feet. Get on your feet. Let your knees and your hips be your shock absorber. All right. Typically, you want to have the heels of your feet behind your shoulders. So if you're standing like this, kick your feet out behind you. Let's say this is the front of your ski. Your arms are coming down this way. You don't have to be like this. You're not Chris McCluggage. All right. But get your heels behind your shoulders. All right. Stick your butt out so your butt is above your feet. Okay. So your back is really going to be the only one at this angle. Relax your hands. Let your arms move. Do not rigid your arms. All right. And if you have a really tight white knuckle grip, you're going to get arm pump. All right. It's going to wear out your arms and your hands are going to ache and you're going to like, this sucks. I don't like any of this. All right. But let your hips and your knees do all the work. They're your shock absorbers. Okay. Trim up. Get the nose up. 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to approach any sort of sequence of waves at a 45-degree angle, at a diagonal angle. Okay. And because that way you're going up and you're going through and you're going up and you're going through. Because if you go forward, you're now going down, kicking up, offloading your pump, coming back down, and you're doing it this way. Keeping the pump loaded is always going to be the best choice for any sort of riding. So if you can approach and just roll into it, this is the same thing you see out in Southern California, guys riding the dunes and at Glamis, is that they're not doing the whoop section front to back. They're coming at it at an, if you see a series of whoops coming at you, you're at speed, you try to angle over them. All right. You want to angle over them. Going at it face first, you're going to start beating. You're going bam, 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 bam. And you're going to offload the pump. The ski's going to surge, and it's going to be a rougher ride. So if you can come at it at an angle, at a 45-degree angle, and roll into it, you're way ahead of the game. Thank you, Rough Water. Appreciate the super chat. All right. We got super chats from Henry. Happy 4th from the cockpit of a DH2 Beaver. Love radial engines. Hope you put a lot of hours on your skis this weekend. I put a lot of hours on the super jet. Well, thank you, Henry. Appreciate the super chat. All right, let's go back to the top. I think we had we had quite a few questions. All right. Hey, Kevin, saw your review video of the Explorer Pro. You did quite some time ago. Ended up pulling the trigger and purchasing one, but boy, you aren't kidding about the windshield. I presume you mean the visibility. Yeah, If you wear polarized glasses, the visibility out of the windshield is 0. You can't read the water at all. It's really bad. Duper Schmooper. Great name. Question: is it true the old 99 Kawasaki Ultra 150s are part of the reason there is a 67 mile per hour gentleman's agreement? Was there kind of a speed war like crotch rockets back in the day? There's not really a gentleman's agreement because the U.S. Coast Guard can crack down really fast. And there are penalties involved too. What the Coast Guard has deemed or has come to an accord with the manufacturers is that when fully laden, so if you advertise a ski as being a 3-seater with an, for example, the GP 1800R SVHO is on paper a 3-seater, and it has a maximum weight of what, 600 pounds, right? So what they do is that they calculate, okay, 3 adults averaging 200 pounds, that's 600 pounds, and a full tank of gas, 18.5 gallons. How fast can a GP 1800 go on flat, optimized conditions? And they say, oh, it only goes 67 miles an hour. Well, we all know no one's going to do that. All right. Equally, the RX-PX. Sea-Doo is the little kid who is like, hey, don't touch the computer. And they're like, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. Oh, I touched it. Oh, no, I'm not touching it anymore. All right. They say 67 miles an hour. They go, oh, we go 70. And then we immediately back down to 67. They're like that kid, like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And they're dancing in the gray area. So what are you going to do? But I cannot say whether the Ultra 150 was to blame for that. The 2-strokes were getting some speed. I mean, you look at like the GP 1300R. That hull is still one of the fastest hulls on the water to this day. All right. And you look at the STXR. Those things were going 70 out of the box. All right. They weren't, but it took very little to make them go that fast. So more often than not, the answer is far less sexy than you want it to be. And the reality is that the government was coming down on watercraft in the late 90s. They'd seen too much bad behavior over the years. Too many people jumping wakes and crashing. Too many people drinking. Too many girls taking their tops off at Havasu and scaring the families and all the party animal stuff that made jet skiing fun and loose and youthful. So they started to get boring and slow. All right, the SUV, the LRV, all these slow, and then the 4-strokes. Guys, 4-strokes were slow when they came out. And it took a lot of work to make them quick. I mean, we had Dave Bamdis on here who was like, dude, we had to about face really fast. So, with the 4-strokes and the slower vehicles became more mature and an older audience, and and now we have the average jet ski buyer is 56 years old. So, yay. All right. Question: any plans for putting together an endurance ride later this year? No. I will be at Fall Mudbug, and if you want to see how much endurance you have, ride all day with Billy and Gina. All right, they go from sunup to sundown. All right. Question: I'm not even screening these, by the way, guys, so I might get caught. Brand new Wake Pro, after breaking it in, RPM taps out at exactly 7,600. Good enough for me, but it is this normal given that it's spec for $8,000? No, it's normal. Depends on your altitude, depends on your weight, depends on how many people are on the ski, depends on what kind of gas you're running. I literally rode with a guy who's got a GTR 230, and he goes, I'm not putting super in this thing. I'm only going to run 87. I'm like, okay, well, your engine's never going to run optimally. And he didn't know the difference between octane and ethanol. And he goes, well, it's just the ethanol. I run 0 ethanol. I go, but you're starving your engine from octane. So, no, you're fine. 76 is fine. That's safe. All right. Let's see if we got any more questions. Oh, Gustavo writes, hello from Brazil. Kevin, do you think Yamaha will use the 7-inch display on the FX-HO 2024, considering that Kawasaki uses the same panel on both supercharger and naturally aspirated Ultra? I wish they would. I really wish they would. In fact, I was really surprised. I said, guys, you're kind of mixing your channels here, because the guy who wants the no frills FX SVHO wants the smaller screen. He doesn't need the big screen. And the older guy who wants the fuel consumption and the cruisability of the FX-HO wants the bigger screen. His eyes are bad. He wants more navigation. He wants more bells and whistles. And they go, no. SVHO gets the big screen, and they all get sound systems. And we're like, I think a lot of people would not be happy with that. And they're like, no, we did our homework. I'm like, okay. I'm an idiot, so don't listen to me. Yes, you are. We don't like you. You're a mean ginger. Boo hoo hoo. All right. Happy 4th of July to you all from Australia. We are in the future. Marty, I have to talk to you about your kids. I have to talk to you about your future. All right. Question. Is salt away that necessary? Yes. Don't be cheap. No, I'm not even going further on that question. Wasn't a super chat. Salt away is necessary, especially if you're riding salt. Or don't listen to me and see how long your ski lasts. I don't care. Oh, guy, this again? I'm so sick and tired of this stupid question. I'm not mad at you, Chaos. I'm just laughing because I get this a lot. I know a company in Alberta that makes aluminum hull swaps for Spark, but I haven't seen any others. I've had people ask, when are you going to go ride the aluminum Spark? I'm like, I'm never going to ride the aluminum Spark because I'm never going to Canada. I don't know. I'd go to Canada if I was invited to go to Canada. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. Question. Sorry for all the bad typing earlier. How do I get something out of the fuel tank of my Fish Pro? Ooh. Do you know it's in the fuel tank, or do you know if the stopper got in the way? You have to pull the center tub out of your Fish Pro in order to access the fuel tank, and then you have to unscrew the large. It's your fuel pickup and fuel pump. You're gonna have to unscrew it. All right, it literally just comes undone, cycles out, and that's after you spend 5 hours to take the tub out, because you have to take the whole top of the lid off, and then you got to take the tub out, and then you got to get into the gas tank. All right, then you just search around and find it. I suggest using a lighter. I'm joking. It's a joke. Gas goes boom. Actually, gasoline does not go boom. Gas fumes go boom. The nice thing is that the plastic cap is plastic, and it's designed to be tolerant to fuel. So the nice thing is that you're never going to clog your fuel pickup if it's in there. You're never going to clog it. It's never going to plug your fuel supply, because your fuel supply has a sock on it. And that sock keeps any sort of debris from getting in there. So I hate to say it, but you could leave it. Mr. Toybox, is a Spark X still going to happen? I don't know. The hell do I know? It could. It's possible. Have I seen the new units? No. Have I been sent spy photos? No. Do I fly drones over the photo shoots? No. So I don't know. Question. Is my 2019 RXT 230 worth anything? Has 300 hours on it. Yes. It's worth something. Literally do a modicum, the slightest amount of due diligence, and look up other used RXTX 230s. Funny. Paul, Kevin, there is a guy on YouTube puts 91 octane in his Explorer. Is that okay? Well, no one should own a Ford Explorer. They're notoriously garbage cars. And considering that Henry Ford was an avowed Nazi sympathizer and eugenicist, I don't know why anyone would really want to support Ford, especially now that they are completely and totally politicized. I don't like to support companies that have, quote unquote, gone woke and are actively engaged in social engineering. So I really would not support anyone who likes Ford or owns a Ford Explorer. Paul, I know that's not your question, but I wanted to be a smartass. Question. Do you have any recommendations for organizing the hall? David, what does that mean? Do you have any recommendations for organizing the hull of a 2023 Sea-Doo GTI SE? My hull contents get shuffled around every ride. Okay. Your hull, your storage bin, your front storage for a GTI, your hull. You put things in the engine compartment? First, the under lid storage container is absolutely worth the price of admission. I think it's like $65. That one is so worth it. Guys, I'm working on an article and a video. After having wrestled with all three brands' accessories, Sea-Doo absolutely has the market cornered on easy to use, simple to carry accessories. I cannot tell you how embarrassing the other offerings are compared to what Sea-Doo offers. The link system is universal. The link system is simple. The link system is trouble-free. Sea-Doo absolutely embarrasses everyone else. All right. They have front storage bin organizers. They have center storage bin organizers. They have storage for the rear for the link attachments. So yeah, get the under bin storage, pouch, pocket, backpack, whatever it is. It literally zero drilling. The holes are already there, and they just give you some self tappers that go right into the holes. Oh my gosh, it's because you said hull, and that's messing my brain up. All right, for other things in front, there are bungee cords will hold backpacks in place. All right, I've had rough water rides, and I have bungeed and strapped gas cans in the front. I know you're not supposed to. I know. Don't sit there and cry at me that I'm storing gas in the front. I've done it. It doesn't matter. I've taken camera bags with me. I've taken all sorts of gear with me. I strap it down, and then I pad it with. I have some pretty big towels. And some stuff that I'm afraid will really batter around that I can't tie down. Just get creative with your tie downs. All right. Oh, we got another super chat from Rough Water. Sorry, I'm in Australia. Adding to my prior super chat, I was meaning going out through the likes of your haul over inlet on very rough days. Oh, okay. You need to be able to read the water. Okay. I went out. Did we go? We went out through Jupiter with the Fish Pros, the first year of the Fish Pro. I completely submerged the Fish Pro up to my elbows and I was standing up. And I have it on video. It's in my Fish Pro review. You can see that son of a bitch goes all the way underwater. All right. That ski subbed. And I mean, it subbed like an old it subbed like an old square nose. I mean, it really subbed. And it's difficult because big inlets like that can hollow out real fast. And if you see it hollowing out, cut in. Do not nose through because you'll sub. And I've seen skis not come out. All right. Cut the bars and give it throttle. You don't want to jump it. You're not Bo Duke. You're not, you're not being chased by Roscoe P. Coltrane. You don't need to be Rim King and jump your ski. All right. Chances are you're going to jack up your wrists or something dumb. If you come in and it hollows out, get on it and pull up at an angle and then roll over the lip on the other side. Turn the bars, give it a little throttle, roll it in off the other side. This is not tough. It is not tough. You need to be able to. I'm asking people to do something that to me is very natural. And to some of you is very natural. But to the vast majority is not natural. And you're going to pull your hair out of your head. And you go, I don't understand. And I'm like, I know you don't understand. And what I'm telling you to do is read the water and know what your hull likes to do in the water. You can tell. It's not hard. But I understand some of you guys don't have the seat time. You don't ride hard. You ride on glass. You're tourists. You're listening to your radio and you're on your other little doodads. And all of a sudden, a barge comes through or you're going out of a breakwater and all of a sudden, your brain goes pop. All right? The same way everyone's brain goes pop when it starts to snow in Tennessee. Everyone in Michigan knows how to drive in snow. They can eat a cheeseburger and talk on the phone driving a peg-legged rear-wheel drive truck with nothing in the bed and 2 foot of snowdrift. And they were like, I don't know what your problem is, man. This is easy. And when it rains in Florida, every shithead turns on his hazards and slows down to 20 miles an hour, even though it rains cats and dogs for 6 months out of the year. Turn my hazards on. What do I do? So I'm asking you to learn to know your ski, know what your ski wants to do. All right? Because all hulls are different. Every ski is not going to behave like the other one. They're going to behave differently. And then you need to be able to learn to read the water. So if you know how your ski behaves in cross chop, if you know how your ski behaves in big rollers, then you're going to go, this ski hates it when I go nose in, nose out. It buries the nose or it porpoises the tail and it gets real unstable. And so I'm going to try something else. But people go, no, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then they sink their ski. And then they go on to Facebook and go, this ski's a piece of crap. It sank. It's like, you're a moron. That's why. All right. Dude. No, you're missing the point on that one, Warhead. They're making hulls for Sparks out of aluminum so that they can go full speed in really shallow water and hit rocks and not hurt the Sparks. These guys in Canada and in Alaska and up in the north, they're going down creeks, pinned out, just cranking through freaking rocks. And I've seen it, and it's bitching, and it looks fun, but I'll pass. All right. Chuck writes, I want to give a YouTube shout out to my wife who just completed her first 100-mile ride today. No one better than Kevin to say it. Well, Chuck, that's awesome. Congratulations to Chuck's wife on her first 100-mile ride. That's awesome. Her name is Maria, just like on West Side Story. Question: will we see any new bare bones jet skis with analog gauges, no sound, no fancy screens like we did 20 years ago? It's called the Spark. And everyone's like, oh, Spark's dumb. I go, Spark's great. Spark's an HX. And I hope you didn't have Firestone tires on your Explorer in high school. Kaboom. Yes, Eastern. It's a joke. You could run 93 in it all day long. It's fine. It'll run cleaner. You'll have less carbon on your valves and on your pistons. I'm just being a smartass. Question: what is your favorite fender for a Fish Pro Sport? The OEM ones have very mixed reviews, and effectiveness seem to depend on dog styles. Is there anyone above them in your opinion? The snap over fenders are nice. My understanding is that the material themselves are a little soft. The problem is that I've been at docks where the dock itself is colliding against the upper deck, and then I've been on docks where they rub up against the rub rail. So it just depends on your dock. I mean, I've seen guys with actual like West Marine big and the big honking bumpers because they're up against a big floating municipal dock, and it scratches the crap out of everything around the gauge cluster. So unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you on that one. It's really tough on that one. Yeah. 2 years ago. Have you seen all the Sea-Doo switches capsizing? I believe that is operator error. Anyone with half a brain will know, do not take those skis or those boats out into rough water. All right. I literally published a video of the 21-foot boat doing this on flat water. And it's just creaking like a pirate ship. And these morons are going out of freaking Haulover Inlet in Florida. I don't know what happened. All right. Question: I haven't heard of any 2023 ST3 hulls cracking at the notorious spot due to the mold issue that you've talked about before. Some claimed it's been resolved. Have you heard anything? I've not heard anything officially. Obviously, they're not going to tell me because I'm a loudmouth dick. But it was really, really bad in the first year. And like in 18, I think it was resolved rather quickly. And there was a good couple of years where they weren't cracking. It seems like it sprung up again in the last few years, but I haven't seen as many failures in the last probably 2 years as I did, because there was a uptick, but I can't tell you what model years. I can't tell you what VIN numbers have it. I just don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot. I had a 2018. The hull didn't crack, and I beat the snot out of it. All right. Do. I've seen him. I've seen a switch on Lake Michigan. All right. Okay. All right. That's all the questions, guys. It's been an hour. Cool. That's all I want to do. I'm taking the kids to the park to go watch the fireworks tonight. And then we're grilling tomorrow. I got a whole bunch of Tennessee fireworks that I bought that have been in my garage that I'm itching to fire off on the driveway. And then I'll pour some bleach down and do a burnout in the Charger. Because that's how you celebrate America. Even though America died a long, long time ago, I can still remember. Hey, get a jersey. Get a jersey. Get a jersey. Go to watercraftjournal.com. Go to the shop. Clickety-click shop. Scroll down. Clickety-click the red shirt. Get a long sleeve jersey. Help me get rid of these. Cool. All right, guys. That's the hard push. We got JD Waterworld's partner video going up tonight at midnight. We've got the Tennessee waterfall ride going up next Monday because there will not be a live podcast. I am traveling. All right, guys, thanks again. We'll talk soon. Have a good night.